with just a week to go before the 2024 Matric results are released, the Basic Education Department and the Information Regulator are set to battle it out in the Pretoria High Court today about whether or not the results will be released in newspapers. SABC News reporter Patricia Visagie is at the Pretoria High Court in Gauteng to give us an update. A very good morning to you, Patricia. Thank you so much for joining us. What are some of the major issues that will be threshed out in court?
Well, good morning. Of course, at the center of this has to do with the POPI Act, and that is to protect the information of the of the matric learners. Of course, the Information Regulator bringing the department to court, and that, of course, to prevent the Basic Education Department from releasing the matric results the traditional way, which we know is normally in the newspapers, and we know that that makes it very easy for a lot of the matriculants to access that information. And it also has become sort of a culture in South Africa, as we over the years have observed the euphoria, the excitement that comes with that. But of course, we know that the privacy of certain information has become very important in the last years in the country. So, of course, the regulator feels that there needs to be other ways to release this information. And we have other role players such as AfriForum that will also be challenging this particular decision, saying that the traditional way has to prevail. And this is not the first time. You would remember that in 2022, the very same court battle also played out right here at this very same court, and ultimately AfriForum won that court battle, which they feel that that particular verdict is still valid even now. It's still standing, and what happened in 2022 still needs to be observed, and we'll see whether the urgent application that is brought before court today, that will be ventilated, the arguments therein, in which direction exactly will that be going, and what exactly will the stance be from basic education, as they are at the center of this legal battle that is playing out. Of course, not a lot of time if you take into consideration that the matric results will be released in just about a week. So everybody is hoping to see exactly how will this pan out, and exactly how will this particular act be ventilated, but also moving forward, what will the conclusion be on this decision. We know that later in the year there will be a fuller court case where, of course, the future of how the matric results should be released, how that exactly should be done, that will come later. But for today, it is about the interdict, the urgent application that is brought before the court to find out whether the 2022 verdict stands and it should be upheld, and whether the traditional method should be used to release the matric results. Of course, you would remember that previously what then happened was they took away the full identities of the matriculants, just using their examination numbers, and that was a way to also protect their privacy and, of course, their private information. And the regulator is saying that that's simply not enough. All that information should not be in the public domain. There should be other ways, for instance, electronically releasing the information privately to each individual. But of course, the Basic Education Department has not made those provisions. It's short notice, and you would remember that some learners, for instance, those in your far-flung areas, in particular in the rural areas where there is information technology challenges, for instance, they don't have access to the internet. It might be a challenge for those learners, for instance, to get their results as quickly as possible.